Okay, welcome to a Banjo-Tooie 100% guide. This will cover the beginner route, which does not do a few tricks that the main route would do. This is designed for people that are getting started with the category or are learning it for a race or something along those lines. First thing I'm going to do is copy my manipulated Jinjo file to file 1, which is the file that I'm going to be using for the entire speedrun. In order to get a manipulated Jinjo pattern, you have to do a few things. I'm not going to go into detail about that though. There is a guide on speedrun.com of how to do that. Alright, and then I'm going to select the file, obviously. Now normally there would be a cutscene here, but there's not, because of the manipulated Jinjo pattern. Okay, first thing we're going to do is this Congo cutscene skip. For a safe bet, this green thing right here is a good bet to start your backflip at. You want to hold up left, and then ground pound near the top of your jump, like so. And you'll skip this. Be sure not to go too far to the right, otherwise you will trigger the cutscene. So now we're going to go down here. The shoes. Manipulating your camera is very important here. You want to try to face it away from laggy areas, if at all possible. Okay. So the first boss is Klungo 1. This is not too important if you're starting off with the runs. There are 3 potions he can give you. Optimal is green, the second best is probably going to be red, and the worst is blue. We got green, so that's very nice. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit him right at the start. Now there is a quick trick to this, but I'm just going to do it very simple. After the 6th potion, I'm going to shoot 3 eggs. That way I hit him, and I get bounced back. You can do this a little bit faster and get a good push. He can push you down the tunnel, but for the sake of newer runners, you don't really need to do this. Okay, we're gonna walk out of the tunnel. So as soon as I come into this tunnel, I'm going to hold up left and press C right like 3 or 4 times. And then while I'm climbing up this hill, I'm going to hold R. And this makes it so that it doesn't show Jingling's temple until I get all the way to the top of the hill, and that reduces just a little bit of lag. Not too much. So we're going to get the first Jiggy of the game. Very easy. For those that don't know, LR and B cancels most text in this game. You can cancel any text in Mumbo's Skull or Wumba's Skull with just B. There are some things in this game that are not skippable. And if you are playing on the Xbox version, you cannot skip any text that is skippable with LR and B. This is an example of an unskippable text. So right here, as soon as Banjo puts his hands on his hips and the text goes away on the screen, you want to hold B now. And that clears that cutscene from playing. That'll save time. Okay, so this is like the first trick of the run, I'd say. Second, maybe. This is White House jump. You're going to want to jump right here, then jump right here, and then hold right, and then jump again. Flutter, and ground pound. Do that one more time. So you want to jump. Be a little bit to the right of where the doorway comes to the top. Hold right, flutter, ground pound. Okay, so now we're going to open the first level, which is Mayhem Temple. Jumping in this game is not faster on flat ground, but it is faster up hills. Do be warned though, if you have played Banjo-Kazooie in the past, you can flutter out of Talon Trot in this game, and that can cause some issues. I do not recommend jumping down hills, only up hills and on flat ground if necessary, but you do not have to jump on flat ground for it to be faster. First puzzle of the game. There are many of these puzzles. There are 10? No, excuse me, not that many. Just putting the pieces in. That will be the only puzzle I'm going to do this run. I am going to open all the levels so that this goes a little bit faster, because most of these puzzles are completely unnecessary, and all they do is all they are going to do is just add cutscene length to this. I will also be getting infinite feathers and eggs, but this is only for a demonstration purpose. Obviously, you would not do this in a real run. Okay. So we're going to trigger this silo outside of Mayhem Temple so that we can use it later. We're going to enter the level. I like to turn my camera facing away from the notes at the start, because it does tend to lag a significant portion if you just walk forward straight. So we're going to grab all these notes along this path right here, and we're going to go learn Egg Aim from Jam Jars. So since this is the beginner route, we will be opening the snakeheads. You can skip doing this in an advanced route. However, it does not save that much time, and this is a lot safer. We're gonna grab the honeycomb right here on this treasure pile on our way out. Then we're gonna head to Mumbo. The pyramid, or the temple that you saw at the right, is the laggiest thing in this level, so anytime you can face away from it, it is a good thing. Okay. This is an instance where I said that some text is skippable with B. You can skip this Mumbo text with just B. Also note any text that it is not. Notice any text that is not skippable, that is not in a true cutscene. You can just hold A to make it go faster. And that applies if you're running on the Xbox version and you can't skip text. I'm gonna jump over here. Gonna get the treble clef that is behind this thing. Okay. So when you jump off from the treble clef, you want to hold up left. And you want to jump in front of this sign that's down here. Can't see it from where I'm at. Here, let me try a little bit. There it is, that sign. And the reason you want to do that is because you want to cancel Mumbo's fall damage. So I'll try it right here. Like so. We're going to want to kick open this flight pad that's underneath this rock. Using B. B is the button it uses to kick. Opening this door. 58 is a good time to enter. I'm going to walk over here and get this jiggy. Now, normally after you would get this jiggy, you would save and quit right here. What I am doing right now is a little bit of extra to make this guy go a little bit faster and avoid about 20 minutes worth of cutscenes that are unnecessary. After Gruntilda's face fades out, hold start, and that will make the title screen instantly go away, and then spam press A to get back into your file. Okay, I'm going to teleport back to Wooded Hollow. We're going to enter Mayhem Temple again. Now we're going to head through the door that we just opened. Pressing C right once so that we get these feathers on red. Because you need red feathers right here because we're going to be flying shortly. Cancel Talon Trot and learn Grip Grab. Roll, ground pound. So ground pounding in this game, you can move while you are actually in the ground pound animation, unlike in Banjo-Kazooie. So by doing that right there, I avoided grabbing the ledge, which saves anywhere from 1 to 2 seconds for every time that you do that, and we do it a significant amount in this run. Dropping down and taking 4 damage from this flame. Like so. Being sure to hold up against the wall. Trigger this warp pad. Now normally here you would climb up to the Slumber Jiggy. However, I am making a detour. This will not be a part of the route, and I will make an annotation saying so. Okay. So what I did there was to get infinite ammo and open all the levels to make this quicker. Okay, so after the warp pad, you would normally climb up here. Once again, ground pounding to avoid grabbing that ledge. Talon Trot, jump, beak barge to get that. Then immediately hold right and roll so that you grab this ledge right here. Then we're going to scoot over and grab this Cheeto page. Correction, that is not Beak Barge, that is Rat-a-tat-rap on the Slumber Jiggy. My apologies. Okay. So this is an interesting Jinjo to get. Normally, as soon as you get into the level, I would hold upright, turn the camera a little bit, till I got to about right here. Then I would jump, and at the top of my jump, I would flutter and wait for the entire Kazooie Bree, and then ground pound. So I had to do this in real time because it's very sensitive on the time because of the water level. So, jump, flutter, ground pound. Now I did not get it right there, but that is okay. This is one of the harder beginning tricks to get accustomed to. But if you don't get it, you can always just dive in the water. Light pad. We're gonna fly to the kickball stadium. Get the Jinjo. The Jiggy at the top of the temple, and then we're gonna fly to Treasure Chamber and get the Cheeto page. You can hold B in this game to Beak Bomb, and you will go further than you will go as far as you were. You will go for as long as you have feathers and you are holding B. Okay. For this jump right here, you want to be sure that you never touch the red right here. And then you're going to want to jump and rat-a-tat-rap. I know it's kind of hard to see because of the cloth. I can do like this. And you're gonna hit this flame, and then there's a spot behind him that you're gonna want to land at. So, like so. Backflip up. Now this is the more technical part. You're gonna want to enter Talon Trot, then jump onto the relic and slide so that you can jump again. Because if you do not do that, you will just pick up the relic and you will have to walk the long way. So I'm going to do this very quickly because it's easier to do it quick. Jump. Slide jump. You're going to want to land right here next to the flame. Jump again, Talon Trot. Be sure to keep jumping while you're in Talon Trot, otherwise you will leave Talon Trot and Banjo will put the relic over his head. That was a mistake. Normally you would land past the gold pile there. If you land on the gold pile like I did there, you will take damage. If you do not feel confident doing the way I just did, you can always do the jump with the flame and then walk the relic around. And while it is slower, it is obviously easier. So we grabbed the Jiggy, holding C right here to avoid looking at the temple. Grab the 3 set of notes that we left behind from earlier. We're going to learn Regal Blaster. Okay, So Recoil Blaster is the first-person aiming, like shooting FPS sections of this game. When you are in this mode, strafing with C left and C right moves you. I believe it is 1.5 times faster than normal speed. So you're going to want to do that everywhere that you are using this ability. So you're going to want to grab the relics in the order that I am grabbing them now. That was unintentional. Okay, alright. It's obviously a little bit of a mistake there, but that's okay. Oops, okay. So, let me try that again so I can show you that it'll be a little bit easier. So normally when you come out of this room, be facing like this, and then you would grab them all on the path, like so, and then drop down after you got the 10th one. It's really hard to explain these sections in such a short amount of time. It really comes with practice in knowing which directions to hold. Be sure to get the rapid fire eggs right before you open that door, because we will need them for the boss. Okay, first boss of the game, Target Sand. Very simple. Just mainly shoot the targets on his body, and then kill the Makis that he spawns every 4 health. And then you get the Jiggy. Now you're going to want to go in order C left, C right, C left, C right, because that's the way they spawn. So then I come over here, and then I'm holding C right, so that I get all 4 targets. Oops. That was a mistake. Normally you would go over to that far side target. Hold C up so you avoid looking at his explosion. As soon as you grab the Jiggy, save and quit. If you're unsure whether you grabbed the Jiggy in this route, if you have 8 at the bottom when you pause, you are good to go, and you do not need to unpause. Re-enter the file. I'm gonna warp to Wooded Hollow. And this is where we would open GGM and Witchy World. However, like I said, they are mainly wastes of time to watch the cutscenes. So after you opened Witchy World, you would leave this area. Jump across. Backflip, ground pound. Or not, excuse me, not here. I apologize. You would grab the sledge. So what we're going to do is jump. Jump. Activate the silo. Learn fire eggs. Okay. So when you drop down into GGM, do not grab the rope. And you're going to want to hold up and spam A until you start fluttering. And then hold A and C left. Ground pound for the Cheeto page. Shoes. Tag the warp pad. Grab the Globo. And enter Wumbas. So we're going to transform into the detonator and do just a very minor bit of things. I'm going to warp to the entrance. We're going to make our way to Fuel Depot. We're going to take a damage on this guy. Hopefully he pushes us towards the loading zone. Okay, he did not damage us. That's okay. Just be sure you have 3 health. Grab these 2 sets of notes. Going to detonate the rocks here. Okay. I'm gonna grab the 2 other notes. So, when you're jumping to Death Warp here, jump, do a full jump, and then about on your downswing, hold B. So that you blow up next to the TNT, and you'll deal 1 damage to yourself, and he'll deal 2 damage to you when he dies, if you're near him, and that allows for an easy Death Warp. Transform back into BK. Going to learn Build Drill. Going to jump over to Mumbo's here. We're back to the entrance. We're gonna get those species that we used. Okay, this part is very technical because you want to grab 4 sets of notes, the Jinjo on the track, and make it to this gate in time. We're going to do a turnaround on the track here so we keep the shoes. Then we're going to hold down left until Banjo falls off, and then we're going to let go of it and land on the Jiggy. Now, you can do a cancel here so that you get up right away, but it's not necessary. If you do fall off of that waterfall cavern, you lose a lot of time. So be very, very sure that you do not do that. You want to be at 2 health while you're making this swim. This is the flooded caves. We're going to go get a Jiggy in here, and then we're going to Death Warp. So this is the reason we want 2 health here. Swimming in first person is, number 1, a lot less laggy, and number 2, a lot easier to turn the camera mobility-wise. Okay, so for that, when you death warp, you want to be holding up left, C right. Oops. Sorry, I was thinking about the button combinations there. And spamming Z. And what that will do is it will turn the camera away from the level and allow you to grab the rope instantaneously, because we did not grab it on the way in, so you will not be grabbing it on the way out unless you grab it like I did there. Trigger the silo, grab these notes. Okay, so Witchy World is very heavy in RNG, mainly due to the Boggy Kids locations. They can spawn... There are 3 kids, and each of them can spawn in 3 different places. There are some very, very good spawns, and there are some very, very bad spawns. Be sure to trigger that warp to the entrance. We're going to trigger this burger switch. The first place that one of the kids can be is here in Area 51, but he was not. Moggy, the kid that you have to hit, can be right here. If he's not, then you would just continue with the level like normal. Shock pad. Grab the notes. Jump down. I'm gonna grab these notes right here. Grabbing gold feather there is not necessary. Now, since we are not doing Snakehead skip, we need a additional Jiggy, and the best one to get is the Dive of Death Jiggy. So we're going to grab that very quickly. I meant to grab the notes in the opposite order there that I did. And we're going to walk up here. And learn Split Up. Now you do not want to trigger this warp pad. Please don't do it. You want red feathers right here. We're going to trigger the fry switch. We're going to get the fries. Shoot that fruity and grab the ticket and the notes. Then we're going to do Cactus of Strength. Okay. So, there is a Jinjo right there in this little... Oh, excuse me. In this alcove right here. Normally you would grip grab up the door and grip grab across and get him. We're going to do a slope jump, basically manipulating the reset timer of the slopes. So what I like to do is I like to jump with the camera facing this way. I like to jump on this green blob, whatever, circle, then jump off, then land somewhere about right here, and flutter, then roll off, flutter 4 times, and ground pound for this. I know that's very difficult to explain, so let me just do it one time. Okay. So we'll do that one more time. Backflip. Being sure that you are off the ledge when you do that. Grab the notes around the right door. Be sure to zoom in here all the way so that you doesn't lag as bad. Okay. Then we're going to transform into the van. But we need the Globo out of here first, so we're going to have to grab that first. Then we're going to take the van and we're going to warp to the entrance. We need to get the Jinjo in Area 51. It's behind the van door. To open these doors, you just honk at them with B. I like to hold R right here, so you don't see as much of the tent as possible, and as soon as I hit this fruity, I'm going to press C down, so the camera maxes out, and this will make sure these feathers are on the red feathers, because you want red feathers right there. Grab that fruity's tickets, hit the warp pad, treble clef. Grab the last note, or last ticket and notes there. And we're going to enter Inferno. Start off going to the left and get the Cheeto page that is behind. And get this Globo right here. And then we're going to warp back to Wumba's, which is going to be the very last warp, so you can just hold down. I did not mention this. Oh my goodness, let me go back here because this is very important. Okay. So as you're coming in, I was looking for it, but I didn't happen to. So as you're coming in, let me back out. Be a lot easier if I just did it from the start. So as you come in and you hold right, you want to see if Moggy. You'll see her out of the peripheral. She'll be right in this area. And then you continue with on your way. And that is important because you need to see if she is here or not. As you transform, or as you teleport back to Wumba's, right here in this spot where these eggs are, there's a chance for Groggy to spawn here. And that is very important that you make sure that you know where those kids spawn. We're going to transfer back into BK. And we're going to warp back to the Inferno. It will be Mumbo's skull. Hold straight up coming off the warp, and then a little bit upright, and jump on this, and grab the shoes. Now, if Soggy was here, you would jump over here and feed her, and then continue on with this path. Be sure not to take damage. Backflip again, and then backflip. Now, once you get right here, this middle part is basically where Mumbo's skull is. So what you're going to want to do is Talon Trot, grab the Jiggy, do a full jump, which means hold A. As soon as Banjo starts his fall, like I'm going to take damage, and goes Jumbo, press A until you hear Kazooie finish Bree once, and then let go of A, being sure to hold forward the entire time. This will allow you to skip a damage falling when you land on land, because initially you'll hit lava and then land, and you're supposed to take fall damage, but you will not if you do this. So, like so. And you didn't take fall damage. Enter Mumbo's. Cancel Talon Trot, grab the honeycomb, kill this guy. The reason we had to kill this guy is because if you do not, he can push you out of the cutscene at the bottom and softlock your game. And that would not be good. Exit Mumbo's skull with Mumbo. Taking a damage on the lava while holding C right so the camera faces the skull. And warp to the entrance. It's going to be the first one so you can immediately hit A. Now we are going to open the saucer apparel. Unfortunately, this is one of the longer... These 3 cutscenes are some of the longer ones in the game. It's one of the reasons why this split is long, mainly due to these cutscenes. I will make a note here. I'll do it before every minigame, but I will not be doing most of the minigames just because they are an entire waste of time and are self-explanatory and obvious. Okay, we're going to take Mumbo back to this warp pad. We're going to warp to Space Zone, which is the first one, so you can immediately spam A. Hold up. Going to come up here, jumping up this hill. Grab these notes. Be sure the camera is turned facing towards Space Zone, or excuse me, towards Star Spinner like this. And then press B on this pad. Now, what I'm going to do during the middle of this cutscene is check for Groggy. This is the second best spot he can spawn. The best is Inferno. So at the right side of Dodgem Dome, I'm looking for his body, and he is there. You can see the orange shorts. The reason I have my camera facing backwards here is so that I can just hold immediately up and enter Star Spinner. I want to take down to 1 health here. Checking for Soggy. There she is. While I do that. Then we're going to activate Star Spinner. Then you're going to want to Death Warp as soon as this is over. Optimally, one of the hammer guys will be beside you, and you can use that. However, if one of them is not close to you, like... Well, actually, that one is very close. I'll be using that to Death Warp. You can also use the Minjo in this crater that I'm walking towards to Death Warp. Going to transform back into BK. That is one of the issues with the guy in Mumbo's. He can hit you as you're trying to walk out. Now we're going to warp back to Wumba, which is the bottom warp. And we're going to transform back into the van. Unfortunately, we need to do this because you need to open Inferno as the van, but you need to open Dodgem Dome as Mumbo, which is... And then you have to open the Dodgem Dome minigame as the van. So unfortunately, we do have to make 2 van trips. I'm going to warp to Space Zone. I'm going to hold upright and C left, so that we can enter this quickly. We're going to turn immediately to the left and pay this. Very unfortunate there. Usually you can kind of be a catty corner to it and do it, but unfortunately there I did not do that. Okay. Going to transform back into BK, so we're going to warp back to Wumbas. And then we're going to warp to Space Zone again. Turn our camera. You can check for Scroggy there if you weren't 100% sure if he was in the cutscene or not. You even heard him burp there. Downtrod up to get this Jinjo on top of the Dodgem Dome. Fall down, and we're going to... We would do the Dodgem Dome minigame, but we're not going to do that. While you're heading toward the first Dodgem Dome, hold C left on your camera to see if Moggy would be here. Unfortunately, he's not. This is the best spot for him to spawn. So for these minigames, they're very self-explanatory. You ride around and you pick up the colors. For the first game, you need 60. For the second game, you need 50. For the third game, you need 40. Very easy, not really that hard. After you come out of the third game, you'll be faced like this. You can immediately hold straight down. The Jiggy will be right here, and you just walk out of Dodgem Dome. After we leave Dodgem Dome, we're going to warp back to... No, correction. We're going to do Star Spinner. Now this is important about Star Spinner. I'm going to do this very quickly. When you are at the very top, you want to make sure the planet is rotating away from you. If the planet is rotating towards you, you will not be able to jump up to the top. There is an optimal way to do it, and if you do it quickly enough, as soon as you land on the ring that surrounds the planet, you can immediately jump up top. So I'm going to do this very quickly. Zoom out my camera. Jump on the star. Okay. Now this is important. This is a route determiner. If Soggy is below you, you need to ground pound down like I'm going to have to do. If she is not below you, you would just death warp here. So I need to ground pound, damage, cancel. Find her. She likes to wander, sadly. This is in fact the worst spot she can spawn at. Best spot she can spawn is in Crazy Castle, which is the area we are doing coming up. So if you had to feed her, you would leave this area and warp to Wumba's. If you did not have to feed her and you death warped, you would just take the entrance warp and warp to Wumba's as well. So I hold down right here after the warp pad. Grab these notes. I'm going to immediately spam C up as I enter, because I want to shoot this grate that's on the far side. Then I'm going to split up. I'm going to walk across. Up over the Minjo, learn Packwag. Then I'm going to head into the pump room. And stand on the Banjo only pad, which is to the left of the pump. Take Kazooie over here as well. You'll have to jump on the barrel with Kazooie. Grab the honeycomb on the way in. Oh, I forgot to mention something. So with solo Banjo, you can double jump by jumping, then pack whacking, and then canceling the pack whack with another jump, and that gives you a double. Now this minigame is the Hoop Harry minigame. You would get 30 points. You would duplicate eggs via... Here, I'll show you outside. You would put them along the wall and recollect them, like I'm kind of doing here. And then death warp in the minigame. I'm just going to do it out here. Not really worth doing a minigame for. You would recombine. Enter. Then you would do the Balloon Burst minigame. You need 50 points for this minigame. Except you would just leave the minigame this time and not Death Warp. When you leave Crazy Castle as BK, be sure not to leave in Talon Trot like I did. I'm going to backflip up to the door frame. There would be a Jiggy right here. Flutter. Roll. Ground pound. Jiggy right here. Now, if Soggy was in an optimal position, she would be right here. And this is where you would feed her. Okay, and the last thing in Witchy World that we need to do is we need to cross this tightrope over to Space Zone for a honeycomb and to set up the delayed cutscene warp later in the run. So what you're going to do is be fully zoomed in, grab this rope, I can grab it, like so, As you're pulling up, press C down twice. Now you're going to want to line yourself up so you are completely level. Talon Trot. C down so you can see the flat, and then start jumping. Camera does like to zoom out as you try to cross this, so you might need to press C down one more time. So, after you cross, you will grab the honeycomb. Then you're going to want to shoot this switch right here. Now this is important. For the sake of safety purposes. When the cutscene starts to play the fuel depot, aka where you blew up the rocks and let the box come through in GGM, you want to hit the reset button on your console. This is very, very important. If you mess this up, the DCW will not work later in the run, and you will not be able to warp to Hag 1. Shoot. The button. It comes up. As soon as I see the box, reset. Reset. Like that. Now, you will have to watch the intro cutscene here because they're... Obviously, because you just are first time turning on the console. Re-enter the file. Now this is where we would open Jolly Roger's Lagoon. So we would open Jolly Roger's Lagoon. Now, when you open level cutscenes, as soon as the screen turns white, at 2.5 seconds after the screen turns white, you can press the reset button on your console, and the level will be counted as open. And that saves, I believe it's around... Last time I checked, it was around somewhere between 17 to 22 seconds. I can't remember exactly which number. It's somewhere in between that. Doesn't save an enormous amount of time, but does save time. Gonna re-enter your file after opening JRL. And we're gonna go rescue Royston for double swimming. Or for double air and fast swimming. So we're going to jump to this rock, making sure to stay on the left side of it. We're going to bill drill the rock. Remember not to go past this line right here. Grip grab. Z to fall off and then immediately flutter so you do not trigger the text again. If possible, try to dump Royston in the water as you're sliding on land so that you can get into Talon Trot as you're talking to him. This is one of the text boxes that is not cancelable, so you have to listen to him talk. So you need to hold A during that so the text goes a lot faster. Okay. Now we are heading back to Plateau. Gonna roll twice. Grip grab for the sign notes. Jump over. Bill drill this rock for the Jinjo inside. Going to split up. Going to double jump up here. Once again, A, B, A to do that. That is very useful. Grab the notes and the honeycomb behind this area right here. Recombine, we're going to enter cliff top. So we need to open the cliff top train station area first. So for this, I zoom out all the way and hold C left, and as soon as I see the land, I hold Z and press A and down left, so that I can avoid grip grabbing on that wall for any longer, because grip grabbing across walls is very slow. Going to learn Ice Eggs. Okay, so I was waiting for that to happen. That is what is called a bonk. Jamjars has a chance to bonk on his silo whenever you learn a move. It is completely random. Most silos cost 5 seconds. That silo costs, like, I believe 5.5. And the split up silo costs about 6. So you're going to want to trigger the cliff top silo and then open this bridge to HFP. Then we're going to want to enter JRL. Being sure you're... I believe I'm not on grenade eggs as I entered the level. Nope, I was not. You want to be sure that you're on grenade eggs when you enter the level. So we're going to shoot this corner. Blow that up. Turn away from the water. Split up. Turn into Kazooie. Blow up this. Oops, excuse me. Whoop, wow. Blow up that. Grab this doubloon. That doubloon. We're learning Wing Whack. Grabbing these doubloons. You can cancel... If you see Wing Whack goes like this, if you're on the ground and you Wing Whack and you press A, you can cancel the Wing Whack animation, which is what I was doing there. Because the Wing Whack animation tends to be a little bit out of control when you're just on the land. Grab the Jinjo. Grab these notes. And Death Warp. Hold right and C left to recombine immediately. Oh, no, excuse me, I apologize. It's left and C left. I apologize. Left and C left to recombine. That is another recombine that I was thinking about. We're gonna blow up this door so we can learn sub-aqua egg aiming in the next room. Unfortunately, he gave us another bonk. We're gonna grab the notes on this banister right here. Or the shelf, I guess you would call it. I'm gonna drop down for these 3 doubloons on these little pillar-like things. Switch to Ice Egg somewhere before you get to the bottom. I'm gonna jump on this wall right here and slope glitch to get this Jinjo. That was... let's try that again. So the best area to climb up is at this black spot right here where Banjo's nose is into. Then jump for the Jinjo. dive down. The reason I cancel... You cancel the aiming reticle with C down. The reason I do that is because it's faster. You can turn faster underwater without the reticle up. Shoot his eyes. Swim down. Okay. So here I'm doing a couple things. I'm checking for that Jiggy, and the Jiggy is in the See Me fish. Next thing I'm checking for is the code. Pi Sigma Omega Sigma Delta Delta. There are 3 codes. I'm not going to list them all to confuse everybody in the they will be listed in any route that you have. But the 2 bottom, the last 2 letters, or the last 2 symbols are never the same in any pattern, and there's only 3 patterns. So you can just memorize the last 2, or see the last 2 rather, and be like, oh hey, it's this pattern. So that's a little bit of advice. Now since the See Me fish Jiggy is out here, I need to Talon Torpedo to grab it out here. It is optimally in Wumba's tunnel, which is over here. Because you have to Talon Torpedo twice, because you have to get this Globo that's down here. Alright, now we're going to turn into the submarine. Okay, now with the submarine we're going to shoot the codes, or shoot the code rather. So we're going to grab this set of notes that we missed. Missed that. If you miss one of the codes, you will have to start completely over. I'm gonna get this treble clef out of this blubble, I believe they're called. Press B to freeze the octopus around this corner, being sure not to get hit like I just did right there. The sunken ship Jinjo here can spawn in 4 different locations. Unfortunately, we got the worst spot, which is this back corner. Going to freeze the octopus there as well. We are going to enter the locker that says D. Jones on it, or Davy Jones. It'll be a brown color and have a big crack in the middle of it. And this is where we're going to fight Lord Wu Fok Fok. Definitely one of the most RNG bosses, actually the most RNG boss in this game. The boils are random in where they spawn. You can get a really, really good pattern or a really, really bad pattern, just depending on how he is feeling that day. Unfortunately, he turned on us a little bit weird there. That was very unfortunate too, because he actually gave us a good pattern. wish I could get that pattern during runs. That would be nice. So now we're going to want to shoot his eyes. Like so. Really? Very unfortunate. Definitely one of the more annoying parts of the run just because of the RNG associated with it. Grab his Jiggy. And then we are heading to the sub-mini game. Really depends on which locker you had. Okay, so for this sub-mini game you need 60 points to beat it. Very self-explanatory, very easy. And after you do the sub-mini game, you would save and quit. Once again, making sure to hold start after Gruntilda's face completely goes away, so you avoid the title screen. Now, we are going to warp to Pine Grove, which is the silo in front of Witchy World. I'm gonna grab those notes. We're gonna Talon Torpedo this rock. And we're going to fight Klungo too. Since I got green first, which was optimal, I optimally want blue here. Because while it is slower for 1, it is faster than red for number 2. It has the second fastest animation time behind green. Unfortunately, we got red. That is not too big of a deal. This is another instance where you can get pushed out of the loading zone. Unfortunately, I missed him there. You want to try to be on the track that I'm currently on, more towards the middle of the track, so that he will give you a good push into the loading zone. Unfortunately, I do not believe that I will be getting a good push off of this. I believe he's going to push me slightly to the left. Yes, that is what I feared. Okay, now we are in Wasteland. And this is where the run starts to get a little bit more interesting with the addition of Clockwork Kazooie eggs. They are very useful. You're gonna want to swap immediately to them. Backflip up. Backflip and ground pound for the Jinjo. It's always the left one, regardless of what color they are. Tag the silo. And you would use this Jiggy Wiggy statue to warp to Jiggy Wiggy to open TDL, which is this level right here. Fortunately, I don't have to do that because I have all the levels unlocked as it is already. So you would come out of Jiggy Wiggies, You would jump over, and you would enter Mayhem Temple again. So we're gonna jump, stand near the warp pad, shoot a clockwork, cancel the first time text. Unfortunately, I did not grab the honeycomb. Let's try to grab the honeycomb. So we would grab the honeycomb and spam B so that the warp pad cancels the text associated. Switch to blue eggs. Hold down. Go up. Get the honeycomb. Drop down. Shoot the flies. Nice shot. That was very nice, actually. Grab the Jiggy right here. Blow open prison compound. Switch back to clockworks. We're gonna backflip up here to the script grab ledge. Be sure not to get hit by this guy. Climb up. Do not grab this Cheeto page yet. Come a little bit to the right. You don't have to get super close to the ledge. Line yourself up with the Jiggy and aim just slightly up. Or slightly up on the reticle. You would press down on your control stick and fire. Now, after this comes out, I hold L and R with my index finger and pinky respectively, with my thumb hovering over B while still holding Z. And what this is going to do is when I grab this Cheeto page, I'm going to cancel the text immediately that comes up. And the reason for that is because that text lags absurdly in here. And you want to cancel it immediately without canceling Talon Trot, if at all possible. Grab the sledge, go to this black line right here, then flutter off. Roll with the waddling boots. Jump as far as you can, so hold A. Aim up until the Jiggy is barely half on screen. Aim over it, shoot and get it. Now I did that a little bit slow to show the setup. Obviously you would make it back in time to not take the damage. Prison code. So the first code is star, sun, star, moon, moon? Okay, sadly we did not get it. So since you've already triggered moon, the next code is moon, star, sun, star, star? Unfortunate, so we got a third code. Sun, moon, star, moon, sun. Getting third try prison compound code wastes a significant amount of time. We'll drill this rock. And we're going to enter Prospectors, which is in GGM. So we are now technically in GGM. I'm going to grab the Prospector's Jiggy and exit. Holding down left and C right once as you exit to drop down to this note. Slide off the ledge and cancel Talon Trot. And Beak Barge for the note. Then we're going to cancel Talon Trot right here. And poop a clockwork and fall into that rock. That hole in the rocks right there. And this is where Canary Mary is. Walk up to her cage, wait till you get right next to it, and blow it up. Okay, so now we're gonna walk down. I don't recommend jumping here. I'm not sure why I did that. Just walked all the way straight. Okay, this is the water storage Jinjo. I walk forward. I don't want him to hit me. I walk forward to this little area right here where my cursor is. I pretty much walk straight towards that and do a short jump in the water until Banjo turns around, and then I'm in an optimal spot. Now, in terms for aiming for this, I guess I don't usually use a visual setup, but if you want to have one, line it up so that the cursor is on the Jinjo, and then you can slide like this, and if you were at the top of that pipe with your cursor, you should be good. Okay, never mind. That was not a good spot. Let's try that again. Like I said, I don't usually aim for this. I kind of just do my own thing. Middle should be fine. Yeah, if you want to use the left trigger on that cursor right there and line that up with that and hover over that, that should work fine. Should be able to get that every time, as long as you're that close to it. Now I swim to this corner, like so, and hold B and A and then up, and that'll get the Cheeto page every time. Climb up the slope, we're going to enter the shed here. If you're fast enough, you will not get crushed. Peek barge this button. Exit the area. This is a setup for later. Be sure to trigger the warp pad on your way out. Right there. Then we're grabbing the notes on the glitter pile. And we are grabbing the waterfall jiggy right here. Very easy shot, nothing too complicated there. Going to enter the toxic gas cave. There's a honeycomb and a Jinjo in here. We'll get the Jinjo first. Honeycomb. I want to switch to grenades at some point because we're not using Clockworks for a little bit. Gonna follow the tracks all the way over to ordnance storage. You can jump along the wall here, just be very careful. It is very easy to exit Talon Trot. Drop down into ordnance storage. Do the ordnance storage minigame. Be one of the few mini games I will do in this route to show the route for the storage. Once again, this is one of those areas where it's hard to explain what's going on. You just need to really play it. Be sure not to shoot grenades at the TNT. And any damage you see that I take is intentional damage. This is to set up a death warp later. I actually wanted to take damage on that guy. It's a bit unfortunate. If you miss an intentional damage, you can always make it up at the end with a grenade. It's just not optimal because the guys... well, number one, you're wasting grenades. And the guys are usually in your path anyway, so it's very convenient just to take damage on them. Hold up and C up, and then immediately fire a grenade as soon as Banjo comes back on the screen after the cutscene where the Jiggy spawns. We would grab the Jiggy here, strafing to get it. You can do it without looking at it on the screen if you know where it is, but if you need to look at it, that's absolutely fine. Okay, now we're going to do the first Canary Mary race. Very easy race. I believe you could probably get away with like 2 A button presses a second. Doesn't matter how fast you beat her here, because she moves the same speed. I have this Jiggy right here. I'm gonna climb up and build drill this rock for this Jinjo. Unfortunately, I missed it. Walk down to the train station warp pad. And we're gonna race Canary Mary a second time. This is for the Cheeto page this time. Okay. That race is also set, so it doesn't matter by how much you beat her. She will always move at the same speed. The third and the fourth race, you can move faster if you mash really fast, but those races are more concerned about actually just winning. You will grab the Cheeto page, grab the speed shoes here at the beginning of the level, warp to Mumbo. Be sure you don't spam B when you're getting on that warp pad, otherwise you will cancel your shoes. Hold left. Doesn't matter if you grab the notes right away. Grab the Globo. Jump up. And enter Mumbos. Okay, so with Mumbo, there are two things we need to do. Both of them are extremely long cutscenes, unfortunately. One of them being the longest in the game, I believe. That is the crushing shed cutscene when you have the switch hit in the crushing shed. Turn your camera to face that door right there, as Mumbo is pulling out his sack. Or his pot, I guess. Unfortunately, they failed to make this cutscene extremely long. So we would hold forward to grab the Jiggy on this door frame. Or part of the Jiggy, rather. Grab this part, take a damage right here, because we will be doing a death warp. Grab this piece last, and warp to this train station, which is going to be the last warp. Take 2 damage from this guy. Enter the train station, and we're going to lift the train, being sure to turn the camera to face this shovel right here. This way, whenever the cutscene is finished, we can hold up, and we will immediately run into the shovel and death warp. Alright, and then we're going to re-enter Mumbo's skull to transform back into Banjo and Kazooie. Having 10 gold feathers after that is very nice, but not necessary. Unfortunate there. I was going to jump onto this rock. Be sure you're on clockworks before you enter this area. Now for this, I like to take 3 steps, or 2, and then jump. Now I like to have Kazooie's feet, when I'm facing this way, in between the line where the TNT goes through. For this shot, you want to aim just enough so the cursor, the top 2 prongs on the cursor, are not hitting the black part right here. Aim them right here, and then fire. Okay, unfortunately that did not work. Let's try that again. That is a little bit too far to the left. Like so. Basically just a bank shot. Nothing too special. Just banking it off the wall and clipping it in. I actually usually do it from this angle right here, and it's a little bit easier. So maybe Kazooie's... Okay, you know what? Actually, I correct myself here. Kazooie's foot on the right is a little bit easier because you get a or bank angle, like so. Okay, moving on. We'll drill this rock. Jump over to the split up pads. Gonna switch to Kazooie here. And we're going to get the Power Hut Jiggy. Now, on my TV it's very bright and I can see, but on some TVs you might have to just be sure you know where you're jumping. So I'm going to Death Warp here, but I'm going to be spamming the R button so that I don't get the long Death Warp, like so. Recombine. Make sure you're on Clockworks. Enter the generator cavern. Now, I like to do the shot here because this is faster and 100%. You want to put yourself to the left of this egg nest. Aim up. About right there. You can see the Jiggy turning. I'm right on the Jiggy. And have the cursor come just a little bit, the bottom left of the cursor, come just a little bit off the wall right there, and then fire. If you don't feel comfortable with this shot, or if you've already used all your Clockworks by this point, you can always backflip up to this ladder. Fortunately, it is a little bit more difficult. There's a setup to do this for the ladder. That was not intentional. Like so. You can just climb up and then ground pound down to get it. But it is faster to shoot a Clockwork there because we are not death warping afterwards like in some other categories. So now we're exiting back to the overworld and we're going to enter the train station for a honeycomb and to fight Old King Cole. Switch to ice eggs at some point. And then enter the train. Be sure to do a long way around, because if you hit the button, or if you get near the button, an extra text box will trigger, and it's just a waste of time. For this fight, very simple. I'm going to walk back onto that platform I just walked over right there, and poop 2 eggs, and then immediately press C up. That way he will be directly in front of me and I will be in C up so I can shoot again. 2 more eggs. If you do not allow him to cast that ability that he's trying to cast, he will always take the same set pattern. You want to try to switch to Clockworks there at the end. Unfortunately, I was not able to do so. And shoot a Clockwork at this Jiggy and get it. And then save and quit. Obviously, if you're out of Clockworks, you can just walk to it. Not much slower at all. Once again, holding start after Grunty's face goes away, so you can immediately cancel the title screen. Switch your eggs back to Clockworks because they will reset to default after you save and quit. Now, for this shot, if I'm right here, just past the silo, if my cursor's still on the green here at the bottom, you're good. Now we're going to warp to Wasteland. And we're going to refill clockworks. Switch to grenade eggs. And enter the level. I'm going to do 2 backflip ground pounds to get up to the springy step shoes. Shoot this cage. Hitbox on that is very big because of the grenade explosion. For this, I just shoot just as long as you're decently... Once you know the arc, you just want to kind of aim about 3 or 4 tugs down on the... 5. We'll just say 5. Well, if you want a good spot, this black thing right here is a good indicator that you are high enough. Grab the Jinjo, spam B to cancel the text, so that we immediately start learning springy step shoes. We're going to skip that note nest for now. Jump down. Shoot a clockwork into this hole that's down here. We're going to grab this Jinjo, then blow up the clockwork. We're going to shoot into the middle hole. There's the 3 right here that you can see. Obviously, you can't see the one on the other side. We're going to shoot towards the middle one. And we're going to blow up a friend here. And then we're going to split up. Switch to Kazooie. We're going to climb up the winding path that's up here. Unfortunately, that was a little bit sloppy. You can do it a little bit better, but that's okay. I'm going to enter the Unga Bunga Cave, I couldn't remember the name of it, for the springy step shoes. Going to go along this narrow path right here. Just be really careful here not to fall. Gonna that, flutter, then wing whack. Grab the 20 grenades, shoot, and then jump a clockwork down to this bridge down here. That seemed a little bit rushed. Let me do the clockwork shot again. So I'm just gonna hold Z, shoot the clockwork. And then you're gonna want to jump and hold left and R. And then immediately switch to up. And you'll land on the bridge. And then you want to jump around him so that you actually hit his butt. If you hit the front, nothing will happen. Spring pad up. Shoot a clockwork right here and drop it down so that you hit this guy from behind. Be sure you have wedged this in behind like so, because sometimes if you do it too quickly it will not work. Trigger the warp pad. Enter the bonfire cavern. Switch to grenades here. Take a damage on this bonfire. We're gonna grab a clockwork right here. It'll always be clockwork if you do this optimally. We're going to trigger the swart pad and then death wheel. Going to recombine. We're going to go back up the winding path that we did, except instead of going into the Unga Bunga Cave, we're going to take a right. That was much better on the movement also. We're going We're gonna grab this Glopo that's sitting on this little plateau area right here. We're going to enter the river passage, diving immediately as soon as we get in, C-upping. Going to Talon Torpedo for the 4 sets of notes that are down here. Grab up, to split up, so that solo Banjo can learn Taxi Pack. Once again, the double jump is A, B, A. Unfortunately, another bonk. Those are 5 seconds apiece for the most part. Recombine with Kazooie. And we're going to swim, surface right here. We're going to grab the honeycomb on this bar wall and jump down. I hold down here as I'm leaving the waterfall. Immediately dive and Talon Trot, or Talon Torpedo, excuse me. As soon as you hit that switch, press B, so it cancels the Talon Torpedo, and then reactivate it again. This saves a little bit of time of movement to the Jinjo. Grab these 2 left notes. And we're going to warp to Stomping Plains. And we are going to cross Stomping Plains and egg barge the Jinjo and the Jiggy. Egg barging is where you extend Kazooie's hitbox through a gate by shooting an egg and then immediately big barging afterwards. It's not really hard at all. All it is holding Z and then C-upping and then pressing, spamming B about halfway through. That's gonna take damage. Okay, that's really good. So, oops, Talon Trot. Like so. And we're going to warp to the top of the mountain. And we're going to fight Terry. Make sure to switch to grenade eggs as we enter the fight. And again, I want to hold down right as soon as the fight starts because you want to collect a clockwork egg that is over here. Like so. So for Terry, you want to lead your shots so you can get a double shot. Like so. The first time I got a double shot, the second time I did not. But you kind of just want to lead it out in front because you want to be able to 2-cycle him. I'm going to kill the Snotties that he spawned. We're going to ideally collect another clockwork. They're hard to see, so if you don't accidentally collect one. You want to damage down to 1 health here also. That's not gonna hit. Oh, it did. If you get 3 cycles, you lose about 45 seconds or so, so it is crucially important to try to 2-cycle. I did not do the best job of explaining that there. It's really hard to do in the middle of the fight. It's more of something that once you practice it enough, it will come. Now that Jiggy that you see right there, we are not going to pick up now. We are going to leave it for another time where it saves. I believe it's like 1 second to grab it at a different portion. No, you would not enter Talon Trot. So you would drop down into the nest, or the hole in the nest, grab the Jiggy, and immediately Death Warp. Switch to Clockworks, and now we're going to enter the Styracosaurus cave. I'm gonna jump on this little thing right here. I jump off of this red. If you see this red thing that I'm standing on, it's a good indicator of where to jump off of to reach this top right here. Still drill the rock. Talk to the mother. Cancel onto Banjo's split up pad and get the honeycomb up here. Split up. Switch to Solo Kazooie. We're gonna walk straight and get the springy step shoes that are right here. We're gonna jump to this flight pad that's up here that Terry just spawned for us. We're gonna shoot along that wall for this hole right here. And there is a rock nut in here. The guys we have been blowing up with Clockworks earlier. Now we're gonna fly to Dippy and get the Cheeto page. Now, for this Cheeto page, want to be close to the edge, but not have the feet hang over. Aim up. Now, you see a bunch of dots and stuff right here and whatever. These two, these 3 in a row right here that I'm going across, it's kind of hard to go across. Hold on, let me... These 3 are the important ones. What you want to do is zoom in, take your cursor up, and put the bottom cursor on that dot, middle dot right there, or in between these 2 right here. Either one works. Like so, and then fire. Hit the train switch, being sure not to step on Dippy's elevated pad there, or otherwise you will get a long cutscene, and that is very bad. Walk over to the cage. I like to stand on this at the top of this line right here. Aim for the dark spot. And, oops. Must have been angled a little bit too far in. Okay, yes I was. Like so. Basically, the idea is a bank shot, once again. Jump up here to Wombas to get the springy step shoes. You do not need that warp pad. And stand still and wing whack for the treble clef in the rock. Flap over to Mumbos. And we're going to take his warp pad to the top of the mountain. Now this is important. As soon as I take this warp, as soon as I hit A, I'm going to be holding down, right, and C left. And as soon as I get close to the edge, I'm going to hold Z. And what this is going to do is put me in front of the hatch cave where I need to be. So hit A, hold down left and C, hold down right and C left. Hold Z close to the edge. And you will land right here. Never let go of Z until you're 100% sure you've hit the ground, or you will take fall damage and die. Learn hatch. Hatch this egg in the far cave back here. This is one of the texts that is not cancelable. Okay. Now normally you would just leave the cave and be good to go through this area right here. However, if you do need clockworks, there are 3 that spawn right here. And you can just wait for them all to change if you are low. Exit the hatch cave. Zoom the camera in all the way. Grab these 3 note nests along this segment area. Now, this is the roar cage jiggy. This is my personal setup. Other people have found different things. I like to have it so Kazooie's feet, left foot, is just to the left of where the outside wall ends. And then aim up. You can see the gap in between. I aim as close to the bone as possible without not touching the bone. And fire. Do that again. This is why zooming in is very cool. That is a good spot. You can see the gap. Just a little bit to the right of the bone. Or to the left, and fire. Now, grab the jiggy. And hit Kazooie with the clockwork. And that will prevent... That will get rid of the blow up clockwork text, or the not the text, but the lag time that it takes to switch to Kazooie. So you're gonna want to turn back around and jump off right here, and towards this, like this weird abomination on the wall. It's like this weird, I don't know. It looks weird to me. You're gonna want to jump off and jump towards that, and then flutter down. And hatch this egg. After you get that, you want to jump over and grab this honeycomb that's in this alcove. Grab the notes that you skipped earlier. Enter the train station. Get close to the edge. Aim very, very slightly upward. And fire. Shoot behind him. And then switch to Banjo. Taxi pack Kid. And head into the train station. Now we left the Jiggy there for a reason. Banjo has to walk that far anyway, Kazooie does not. So we're just going to grab the Rocknut Jiggy that we left sitting there as Banjo. I'm gonna call Chuffy to come pick us up in TDL. Okay. And we're going to enter the cab, or the caboose of the train. And just as soon as you get in, immediately drop the kid off. And exit. Recombine with Kazooie. Still sitting over here. Enter the train, and we are going to take the train to Clifftop, which is Isle of Hags, as listed on the drop-down menu. Exit the train. Now when you exit the train, I want to turn your camera and zoom it out so that you're facing these eggs. You want grenade eggs and ice eggs. If you are still short on Clockworks, you may get Clockworks there as well. However, it is not optimal. We're going to switch to Mumbo to heal the kid that we put in the train. Walk back down to the Mumbo pad that is by the train. Have your camera face backwards so you can just immediately hold up after the cutscene is over. Gonna return back to the skull. Transform back into Banjo-Kazooie. Jumping is not something you should do. I just do it because it's an old habit that we thought used to be faster for certain sections. Okay, we're going to switch to Clockwork Eggs, or make sure you were on Clockwork Eggs. You should still be on Clockwork Eggs from TDL. We're going to kill the 2 enemies here. And we're going to stand on this line about right here. Aim to the corner, as far up as your cursor will go, and fire. That line is like right here. Very easy to get once you practice it. Switch to grenades before you enter JRL, and then enter JRL. C right to turn your camera away from the water so it doesn't lag as bad. Split up again. Switch to Kazooie. I'm going to use that shock pad that we released earlier to get these treble clefs, or not treble clefs, excuse me, these doubloons up here. Enter Mumbo's skull. Grab 4 doubloons in here. Blow up the secret entrance. If you can't see the enemy on screen here, wing whack when you get around this corner, but since I saw him, there was no need. Hatch the egg. Immediately press B after you cancel the text there, and you'll get the slap on the kid every time. This is another text that is not cancelable, just hold A to make the text go faster. Grab the Jiggy and immediately Death Warp. Hold C left and wait until the text pops up on the screen, and then press A to switch to Banjo, then hold C right to enter Panos. Turn in the doubloons that you got. You should have 20 at this point to get the Jiggy. Okay, we're going to grab the Globo first, and then the notes, and then the Jiggy. Now, since this is a beginner route, most people are going to be really bad on Clockworks, so we will be grabbing the Clockworks that are over here. Oops. Also, as long as you are not facing the eggs, they will never change what egg they are currently on. So if they were on Clockworks when you turned away from them, when you turn back onto them, they will be on Clockworks. Re-enter Panos to steal the Cheeto page. So what I like to do, there is several setups, but for mine, I like to line up with it, get on top, close to the edge, taxi pack, down so he starts walking, immediately up and B. So now if you did that, you pressed up too late. Unfortunately there, I was just a little bit off. Like so. It's a trick that is very interesting for new runners. Let me show it back up. If you do not feel confident with stealing the Cheeto page, there is a doubloon right here. And then after you leave Jolly's in JRL 1, if you come over here in this pool, there are 4 doubloons. 2 there and 2 on the far side that you may grab to get the Cheeto page the intended way. So now we're going to warp to Atlantis, holding A and B, and then C up. So we get the honeycomb. And enter crispy bacon. Now we want to grab optimally 6 clockworks, but for the sake of beginner route, we will grab 4 here. Immediately dive, head to the right. Grab the clockwork that spawns here. Be another one here. Damage yourself twice. Switch back to blue eggs. Get back in the corner. On that black dot right there. And what this will do is if you sit in this spot, you will collect 2 more clockworks. And with the addition of the ones in crispy bacon, or the ones in Ponos, excuse me, you will have a decent number. You always want to shoot eggs through crispy bacon because you usually cannot hear the one that spawns on the far side. Grab the Jiggy on your way out. Oops. Sometimes you can swim over it by accident. Switch to Clockworks. We're going to swim over to the Ancient Swimming Bass, which is this wall that has the Kazooie's face on it. It's a Talon Torpedo wall. Swim inside. Swim to the corner. Now, once you see that, of the ones you can see, you want to aim for the 3rd one? No, yes, it's the 3rd one. Right in the middle of the 3rd one, I believe. Actually, you know what? I believe it's this line right here. Oh, I was wrong. My apologies. It is the 4th one that you aim for. The middle of the 4th one. Right here. So, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, the middle one right here. As long as you are in this corner, like I am right here. Now we're going to turn right and swim into Seaweed Sanctum, switching to grenade eggs along the way. We're going to climb to the very top of Seaweed Sanctum. You can skip that grip grab, but unfortunately I messed it up and had to grab the ledge. Oops, that was me slipping the A button. We're going to do another ground pound jump here, so that we avoid grip grabbing that ledge right there. Same here. avoiding grip grabs wherever possible, because they are very slow. Okay. We're going to grab grenade eggs right there. They will turn to it immediately. Dive. Now the honeycomb can spawn right here, but sadly it did not in that see me fish, so we have to go the long way. It's a 1 in 3 chance. It saves a lot of time if it's right there, but obviously not ideal. Grab that. Then we're gonna shoot the teeth out of the fish. Okay, I'm not exactly for sure how I got in the fish there, but okay. Ideally, you want to take a damage from one of these guys right here, if you are not already at 1 health. Grab the Jinjo that I grabbed, and then talk to Mary. And then spam C up while you're waiting for her to leave, and then kill yourself. After the death warp, we're going to re-enter Jolly's and get the Jiggy that we got for rescuing Mary. Now, during this cutscene, if you let go of Z, you will cancel Talon Trot, so try to hold Z if you can. Immediately after the text cancels, because if at any point you let go of Z, you will cancel Talon Trot. Walk over behind Jolly's and blow up the pipe toxic waste. Stand on this part of the pipe right here. See up. Switch to Clockworks. And aim so the cursor is above the honeycomb and at the top part of the green right there, where that black kind of is on the screen, and then fire. Try to fall into the pipe in Talon Torpedo, or in Talon Trot, excuse me. Switch back to grenades. Shoot the switch. It's right here around this corner, as you can see right there. Okay. Switch to ice eggs and exit the pipe. Holding right and C right as you exit, so the camera turns. Keep the camera faced away from you. Jump down into the water. Swim directly in front of the Unfortunately, I did not do what I wanted to do there. I wanted to hit the ship first and then get the notes, but it doesn't really matter. The ice eggs shoot the power cores that are in the ship. $14 is a good time there. Optimal would be probably either 15 or 16 for RTA. Wait for this cutscene to play and be sure to grab the Jiggy that is underneath the aliens right there. Immediately after this cutscene ends, you want to switch to blue eggs and hold right and R so you can turn around and get the Jiggy. Of course, being in C up first. A and B, of course, for fast swimming. Switch to regular eggs. Shoot the guy. Grab the notes. Switch to clockworks. Swim into Smuggler's Cavern. Swim up till you're almost at the surface. And enter Talon Torpedo to get the Cheeto page. Just aim a little bit above the trajectory that you would think. It depends on where you surface, really. If you're kind of out, you need to aim a little bit more up. If you're closer, you don't need to aim as much. Somewhere around right there. And save and quit. Okay, now instead of re-entering the file, we are going to enter the replay menu, go to bosses, and scroll all the way down to Hag 1, and watch the Hag 1 fight cutscene. The reason for this is because the switch that we hit earlier in Witchy World, that we reset our console on, that cutscene still needs to be played. However, it's a little bit weird with that cutscene because it's the only cutscene in the game that starts a cutscene in one level, then goes to another level, does a cutscene, and then comes back and does a cutscene in the original level. In this case, Witchy World to GGM to back to Witchy World. Because the way this works, you can substitute in your own cutscene in for the cutscene that transitions back to Witchy World. And in this case, we want to use the one for Hag 1. This saves us from having to open Hag 1, do Tower of Tragedy, fight Klungo 3, and climb up to fight her. The downside to this is if you die to Hag 1, you have to open Hag 1 normally and do it that way. So please be absolutely sure not to die to Hag 1. If you need extra health, you have enough honeycombs, go to Honeybee in Plateau for extra health before you watch the Hag 1 cutscene. So after you watch the Hag 1 cutscene, warp to Plateau and enter GGM. Being sure you're on ice eggs as you enter. Drop down to the speed shoes. And enter the fuel depot. And here we are at Hag 1. So you will have the speed shoes on at the start of this fight. This is a very important fight. You need to grab a lot of clockwork eggs in this fight. Optimally, you would have 9 when you finished. If you do not, there are backups. They are going to be slower, but they are possible. But I will do my best to show you everything that you should be collecting in this fight. You want to collect ice eggs there. Blue eggs here, and clockwork here. Unfortunately, I did not grab a clockwork there. Cancel all the text, press B on the questions. Oops. You want to grab ice eggs here? And clockwork right here? Doing this fight the way I'm doing it comes with practice, just so you know. Now we're going to want to backflip on top of the drill to avoid the lag that these mortars cause. There are 4 mortars on the first phase. When you end the phase and you are starting to go into Breagle Blaster, be sure you are not in Talon Trot. Otherwise you will be facing backwards from Hack 1. There are 6 on this cycle. Oops, that was unfortunate. Grab ice eggs here. Want ice eggs here as well. Now you should be full on ice eggs after this point. Ideally, you wanted a clockwork at the last one that I got, but it's not necessary. Switch to clockworks. Behind the drill. Shoot one in. Now, you want to make sure your camera is not facing the batteries, because the batteries do cause a lot of lag when they explode. Like so. Ooh, that was not what I wanted to do there. You want to grab a clockwork here? Stand up on this thing right here. So you're not looking at the level. You should have a clockwork right here spawning as soon as this ends right here. Like so. Stand about right here, see up, aim just a little bit up, and shoot the clockwork into the tailpipe. Or really not the tailpipe, but the back entrance, I guess you would call it. Watch for the uggers in here. Blow up the last battery, and now she becomes stationary. No lasers, only her shooting at you, and then some minions that get summoned. Switch back to ice eggs for this next phase. And then the blue for the rest of the fight. The reason why is because we want to conserve our ice eggs for later on in the run, and we have a lot of blue eggs at this point. You should be near maxed, if not maxed. She'll summon the gas. If you are really quick at the shots, the Uggers really can't do anything to you. Oops. Unfortunate there, but... So you killed her. Cannot skip this text. You can skip this text, however, the one that Banjo gets. B to cancel the last cutscene. Hold start after it's over with. And re-enter your file. And that is the first half of Banjo-Tooie 100% for the beginner route. Part 2 will cover the rest, which is Witchy World 2, TDL 2, and the Gauntlet at the end, which is HFP, Cloud Cuckoo Land, and GI.